I started when I was 19 as a model, and yeah. Then I was kind of hooked. I went to, but I decided I didn't want to be in front of the camera. And I was like, nah, it's not my thing. I had too many opinions, and I decided to go to film school. Went to UCLA and became a director. Then I started working with MTV, and I started doing commercials, and I started producing films, and I started working with some amazing people. And once I did that for a while, I'm like, well, I want to expand my horizons, and got into education. Started owning schools, and I had 19 in 3 countries. So then I created Celebrity Experience, and here I am.
All right.
So when I was younger, I started acting when I was 7, but before that, I was very shy. So I wouldn't really act. I tried an acting class when I was 4 or 5, but I ran away from it because I was just very shy and I didn't really know what to do. But as I grew older, I'd always act in the car, just with my mom. So later we decided to try another acting class, and I ended up loving it. So from there, I did a 3-month intensive training and basically a showcase. And that's where I met my first agent. Philip is here, I believe. He's somewhere around the room. Oh, he's right there. So from there, I met Philip and Jody and Bonnie. They're with CTG, and they're my first agents. And after the showcase, I went to their office and did another, I guess, kind of audition, but I basically met them. I performed another monologue. I was very nervous there. So I'm glad, I think I did very good, and everyone was very nice at CTG. And from there, I just went to different auditions, and I ended up getting some jobs. I think my first job was The Incredible Burt Wonderstone with Jim Carrey and Steve Buscemi and Steve Carell. So I just remember doing that, and then commercials, and then finally I got to Fresh Off the Boat, and that's where I am today.
3 seasons, right?
Yeah, we're on our 3rd season, so if you guys watch it, I hope you guys are enjoying it.
Awesome.
I think my best advice would be to someone who wants to become an actor or like a theater performer is from Jim Carrey, and during The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, he said to me, just to be yourself, and then everything else will come. If you just be your true self, then everything else will come.
Belief in yourself and in what you want. It's like anything else in life. You can't base anything on just the moment and what's happening in front of you right now. Because if you don't have any faith in yourself, and whatever other faith you may have, hopefully a higher power, you need to have faith. You really do, and you need to understand that every door opens another door, and every failure is not necessarily a failure. I always say that, I don't believe in failure at all. I don't mind creating things that just flop. I don't mind losing it all. I really don't, because I know on the other side of that is where I need to be.
How to deal with the rejection is to utterly keep reminding yourself that this is what you want to do. And if it is the only thing that you want to do, nothing's going to stop you. And really, as George said, rejection, when I fail at something, I didn't win the X Factor at all, but I felt like I have. I really have felt like I have, because I just kept going, and everything that the winner has got, I now have. Absolutely everything, and probably a little bit more now, because I kept on believing in each little success and keep going forward. My parents have taught me, let go of your failures very quickly. Let it go really quickly. That didn't work out? Let it go. Keep going forward. Let it go and keep going forward.
The easiest way to deal with rejection in acting is just to forget about it, like both of them said. Because if you really want something, you're gonna do everything that you can to get that or reach that goal. So ultimately, it's just about pushing through and persevering and just keep on going.
When you look at failure is in any career, anything you do. It's just not acting, it's everything. And in acting, it becomes a bigger deal because it's it's your desire. But you know, you could be a lawyer and you fail. You could lose court cases and you beat yourself up. I mean, that's just human behavior. We do that as human beings. But honestly, if you know your craft, if you know exactly what you want, and you meet the right people and you persevere, you will get it. You will get whatever you want. But people give up. That's what happens. Wow, I think we're all in different places on that. What inspires me every day to keep going is my kids, to be honest. You know, parents, that's why there's a lot of parents here. Their kids inspire them. They're here for them. You know, I'm the same.
I agree with Anton. The work inspired me, just creating something basically out of nothing. And I also do acting for 2 reasons. One is because I really love it, and I love to be on stage, and I love to meet new people, and I love to learn about new things. Like on set, I'm good friends with the camera crew, and they teach me how to use the camera, so I know a bunch of different parts about the camera. And then the second thing is that I just want to do more, so I can, I guess, make the fullest of my life, because that's what I want to do. I want to try and do as many things as I can, you know.
Okay, here's where I go with, you need to look at yourself as a business person. You're not an actor, okay? I mean, acting is your craft, but you are a commodity. You're a business, okay? So, and you need to think as a business person. So as a business person, what is it that you need to do? What a lot of actors do that aren't as creative, they go and become waiters so they have flexibility for auditions and live off that hope. Other people, they expand their creative mind and their business mind, and they learn to think outside the box. They create businesses. They create things that free them up so they could get what they want. A lot of actors become writers. A lot of actors actually, I know directors that started directing so they could be an actor. It's really interesting, so you need to find your path on that. But honestly, doing 2 things at once is something I've done my whole life, so it becomes very easy to me. But you need to expand your brain and do 2 things. You know, I mean, if you're over 18, you're on your own, you have responsibilities. I mean, even for acting classes or whatever it is that you need, even for the craft itself, it costs money. It's not free. So you need to balance that out, and I'll talk to you more about it later. I know actors that actually became extremely successful and then funded their own projects. I'm not going to name people, but there are other very successful actors that quit acting because they used their name to develop huge water softening companies, and they became billionaires. So they just act whenever they want. But, you know, you evolve. As a human being, you evolve. And some actors are actors for life. You know, they'll die acting. Other actors actually use it as a stepping stone. One door opens another. You know, we change. We as human beings constantly change. We're never the same. So are our thoughts, our priorities. You know, you may end up getting married, having children, your priorities change. You'll open a theater company because you created something else that made you money, you know? It's like you don't know what the future holds. You may win an Oscar, you don't know. Just, you have to be in the moment. You really do.
Well, I'm not over 18, but this is what I can say. Is that you just have to keep creating. Like, for instance, I like to make videos or like mini movies. And an inspiration for me is Casey Neistat. I don't know if you guys heard of him, but he's a YouTuber, and yeah, he's really cool. He's a YouTuber, and then he also makes a bunch of different movies, and that's how he built his platform. It's just by making very good content. So that's what I'm trying to do also as a YouTuber, is by making very good content, and everything else will come. So just being creative will really help.
You know what? It depends on the project, and it depends who's already hired. Sometimes if they've hired 75% of the cast, and you have the completely wrong look to match everyone else, you won't get hired. You know? But usually they go with talent. Usually.
Well, I live in central London.
And London is the mecca for Europe. That's like the Hollywood of Europe. So
So I live right in the centre of London, in town, and I like that sometimes. And I think, yes, I think location is good, because also you get a chance to, when you're in the middle of I grew up in the countryside, and nothing happens in the countryside really at all, apart from milking of the cows. There's nothing else to do there. And I like that, but when you're in the centre of town, because of that buzz, because you can then go to the theatre, you can go to the cinema easily, there are lots more things that are accessible to you. Opportunities. So I mean, I would be in Soho, for instance. Soho is a part of London where lots of the theatre is. I would walk down having a coffee and I would bump into a casting agent. And that's happened so many times, and they've gone, "Hey Anton, damn, I was thinking about you, but now I can have this project come up. Can you come in? Can you come in and see me?" And I've gone in and I've got a job because I was just walking down the street and bumped into a casting agent that I already knew because I was in the centre of town. So location is important.
So I've lived in Los Angeles for my whole life, and also when I became an actor. So I think location is an important part, because I guess it's more accessible if you live in an area like Los Angeles where there's like lots of acting and theater. So I just think location can be an important part, but if you have lots of talent, if you're very personable, that can also win as well.
Also, if you think yourself as a business person and you use the tool of the internet, you could create so much for yourself. You can. If you create a fan base, right now in Hollywood, the big thing with casting people is this: do they hire this actor that nobody knows but has 1 million followers, or do they hire this name who's bankable, who doesn't have followers? Well, more than likely they're going to go with the one that has 1 million followers, honestly. Another thing is that some of the best talent in Hollywood are from different parts of the world. They just are. And they got their start there. They do. And if you get an agent, now with social media and everything else, you do auditions online. You don't have to be here necessarily until it gets to that point. But if you want to be in a major film or in a hit TV show, you have to be in Los Angeles. That's the way it works.
I think an agent is great by itself, and then a manager is great by itself. But I have a manager and an agent, but personally I think it's better if you have a manager and an agent, because they can get you to different connections, to different jobs. I just think I think both are great, and they work really well together.
Well, if you're going to go to drama school, make it a drama school, if you go to like RADA or Gilbert High or one of these amazing drama schools in London, they're highly respected. That's a different story. That would be great. But if you're just going to go to a drama school in wherever, no.
I would choose education every
Absolutely.
time. Personally, especially I would choose to be educated every time, because as an actor, the more you know, the better it is in your life. When you're going to a job, the more you know, the more you read. I tell actors my friends and I, it's all about reading. I read as many books. I used to years ago read about 5 books a week, because I found it was a skill that was good for when reading scripts, because I could read a script very quickly and absorb it very quickly, and I think that's a skill. So going and doing something completely different can be a huge help for an actor.
So we get a new script every week, because we have a table read on Tuesday every week. So as for the day goes, so for the table read script, when you read it, you try and, I guess, absorb the story as much as you can, like reading the books. You try and retain as much information, and also we have an acting coach on our TV show. So he helps us with the emotions as well as getting the lines. So just trying to find out different parts of the story and what you think connects to this, because you always want to ask, if your character is saying something, why is he saying this thing? Or why are they saying this thing? Or why are they responding this way? So you always want to try that. You always want to find out that little nick that the story might hold. Also, asking the writer of the project is important, or the director, or just asking anyone for their advice or what they think this means will help.
I always give my characters a full backstory. I speak to the writer, but I give them a full backstory that I know that I can, if I really know this character, actually the lines become much easier because they are in you, and that character's in you, and learning it becomes easier once you know what their life's about, who their parents were, if they had parents, where they live, what does their apartment look like, what does their bedroom look like, who are their friends. Having a huge background of who they are as a person makes it easier to remember those lines because you understand.
I got this job once, which was for The Gap, and I was supposed to do this ad campaign. They gave me the idea, the script, which was it was something like milking some cows. It was a farm, and they wanted to film it all yellow and make it. It was in the '80s, and they wanted to make it very '80s like. And I thought it was dumb. And at that point in time, I was already successful right off of MTV that I worked for 3 years, and I had opened MTV in London, and I was so seasoned, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. I have a really fresh idea. And I had this idea to create what was called a dancing commercial, Dancing Gap, make it black and white with all these old divas. And they thought, this is stupid. This is really dumb. There's no way. And no, they turned it down, but I could have walked away, but I was like so engaged in it. I wanted to do this, so I wouldn't take no for an answer. I flew myself to New York to the head office, and I took meetings, and I was so persistent on it that what I ended up doing was I ended up funding it myself, and I shot both versions. And my agreement with them was, if you want mine, you're just going to pay me what I spent. That's it. So I remember right now, I was more of a rebel at the time. I had a beard and long hair. And I walked in there, I showed them theirs, and they were like, oh, this is great. Oh. And then I showed them mine, and everybody was like, and it became like one of the biggest commercial sensations that has ever existed, the Dancing Gap commercials, that they followed that campaign for 10 years. So, persistence.
I've been very fortunate to not deal with too much rejection, or basically no rejection at all. It's just that the little things like not getting chosen to do like a commercial or a TV show or something. But those you just pick up and then you just go to the next one. Because it's okay if they don't really want you. Because on the other side there may be a different show that could be a bigger role, or that you can get accepted for. I remember I did something where I auditioned for a role before I auditioned for Fresh Off the Boat, and that role was smaller and I didn't get that job. But then I'm glad I didn't get that job, because then I wouldn't have been able to audition for Fresh Off the Boat. So just keep going and just be confident in yourself.
Yeah, it's about letting go. Letting go. It's not meant for you. We can't be selfish enough to think that everything is for us in this world, And that's so prevalent in the acting world, but in real life, this happens all the time, and we don't see it that way. We're like, okay, whatever. So you have to have that. Just move on. Who cares? Life is abundant. There's more. A lot of people come to Hollywood thinking, like, if you're a guy, I need to be like Robert De Niro, or I need to be like Leonardo DiCaprio, or I need to be like this person or that person, or I need to be this thin because of this. But you mold yourself into somebody else, and those people have a very hard time working in this industry. But the one thing they can't do is be you. You're the only you in this world. Nobody could have that blueprint. So be yourself. If they don't like you, it's not for you. That's it. Don't change for anyone. honestly, unless they're gonna pay you for it. If it's a role, they want you to shave your hair, whatever, do it. Obviously, that's part of your role. That's a job. But if you don't have a job, absolutely not. This is you.
The thing about, I used to have a real confidence problem. Can you imagine? I used to have really, and I had a stutter too, like a terrible stutter. And I still have it sometimes when I'm doing like first read-throughs and stuff. I get huge anxiety around that. And I love reading, but reading in public used to be, I couldn't get the words out. It was just, but I kind of had to learn to slow down and find a sense of confidence. And the more things that you do that are good for you, those little successes build up a sense of confidence. I mean, and you need it, and you need it in this industry, because you get people say some really wonderful things about you, and then you can open a newspaper and read something that is totally untrue about yourself, and you go, they don't know nobody about you, no one spoke to you, no one even knows anyone that you know. I have something out in the world, and I get my family, we laugh about it, but but at the time, it was really hurtful. They'd written a story about something that was completely untrue, absolutely no truth in it at all, and they'd gone to a source who I think I'd met 3 times in my life, in my youth. I don't even know them. And their story became real, and what I was saying became not real. And it was like, great, but you have to have a sense of self and go, it's okay. If you want to be in the spotlight, my mum said, if you're going to be a light, sometimes what a light does, it shines on other people's darkness. So you just have to keep being a bright light.
I basically deal with my personal life. I don't deal with it, I basically live it, I guess. So whether it's just spending time with my family at home or something, it's very interesting. Because if you're on a TV show, you normally work 5 days a week, unless you're on like an action show. You work 5 days a week, and for that time, you can either the schedule is very, I guess, timed. So there's like a 12-hour turnaround. So during that 12 hours, you can spend time with family. You can also spend time with family if they go to set. Like my parent goes to set with me because I need a guardian, so I spend time with her there. And then also on the weekends, I spend time with them there as well.
I believe that balance is everything. And I mean, I travel for work all the time, but I make sure that I spend equal time with my kids at home and my family, because that is my top priority. You have to decide, okay, what is my top priority? And where I'm at in my life, that's my priority. Like 20 years ago, different priority, right? So
I haven't, I guess, tried to develop an accent for a role, but I've just tried it for fun. I'm okay with it. What I do is if I wanted to learn like maybe an English accent, I'd either watch a bunch of English movies or I'd meet people or coaches that can teach me that accent. And I just try it in different places and see what people would think. And I just keep practicing it to get it right and to do the best I can.
it all depends on how you receive information. Some people are very visual, some people are auditory. So you need to understand yourself first and what's the best way for yourself to learn, right? Some people are complete auditories and they need tapes and they're self-taught. You know, other people go to the best coaches out there. You know, you have to find what works for you.
I think that the best way to approach social media is to put your best self forward, to post things that you feel, I guess, confident in. And yeah, because casting directors, they check your social media first. That's one of the first things they check, aside from like your headshot. They check that. So if they see, I guess, good images and something, and if they see that you're a good person and that you're very approachable, you're very media friendly, that's great, and that's what they look for. Well, first of all, when you meet them, you want to shake their hand and look them in the eye. And like I said earlier, you want to put your best foot forward and present your best self. So you always want to be kind and generous, and you just be very approachable with them. And then from there, if they think that you're a great person, then they introduce you to other people, and that's how you just meet a bunch of different people. Like with my family on set, they're like my second family because I've gotten to know them very well. Like my brothers on the show, they're like my actual brothers. I see them like once a week, even when we're on hiatuses. Like I'm just gonna go eat with them on Sunday. So just being kind and approachable is always great.
Relationships are very important. Building relationships are real key, including for your success. Absolutely. I mean, the more casting directors and agents that you're friendly with, the more people know you, the friendlier you are, the more doors will open for you, you know? I mean, when I first came to LA, nobody knew who I was. Now you call anybody, and I can say, oh my God, I know this person. Bring him in, you know? I mean, it's been a journey, but it's relationships. A lot of things that I planned too far ahead never happened. Never happened, because life led me in a different direction. So I learned that the most important thing is to be in the moment. Have your plan, have a plan. I know what I want. And I'm also okay if I don't get that, if I get something else that I'm gonna want, right? So, and that's how I do it. I'm always in the moment. And the moment is where all the magic happens. That's when you see all these little subtleties that can change your career. A door will open that you never realize. If you're not right there present and you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to look at this because I want that. I want this. Like in your head, it's like, you know, it's the same for everything. It's including like falling in love, you know? Falling in love happens in the moment. You don't plan it. You're like, oh yeah, I want to be in love, I want to be, whatever. But you don't know it until you go through it. Life is that way. And anything that you achieve, really, it all happens in the moment that inspires you to take the next step.
It used to make me miserable. Honestly, it did. I have a 5-year plan, and if I hadn't ticked off those things on the list, I would get miserable. So I stopped doing that. I did the thing that made me feel better, and kept myself open. Now, I had no idea this year is already turning out to be a wonderful year. I never thought that I'd become a peace spokesman for the UN, the Red Cross, and the Auxiliary Foundation. I never thought that would happen. I didn't put it on my list because I didn't make a list, but it's now happening. I'll be going off to Syria and the Congo and to Sri Lanka and to some war-torn countries. That's something that I'm passionate about people, but I never thought that would happen. It wasn't on my list of things to do. But now it's become something that is happening. So I kind of think it's good to have an aim, but to be flexible, because things come in, you know.
I believe that it's always good to enjoy the journey, because if you always want to set a plan to be somewhere, but to enjoy the journey along the way is great, because you always want to be in the moment, because you don't want to miss the things in the moment. That's what a lot of people say. Yeah, so you just have to enjoy the journey.
Wow. Well, you have to believe in yourself first. You really do. You have to know what you want, and you also have to know how to communicate. In life, as you grow, you'll realize that you have a lot of visions that people around you don't see. But you can't change your vision for other people, because you'll never live your life, and you'll never achieve anything really. You're just gonna spin your tail and be unhappy. So you need to be very clear on what you want and clear on how to communicate it. That's the most important thing. And the people that love you will support you.
I believe that if you have a strong sense of self, it's very important, because if you really want something, you'll do anything that you can to reach that goal. So if you want to become an actor, you'll do anything that you can to become an actor. So I just think if you believe in yourself, then everything else will come. The best advice I'd give you is, if you're walking to like an audition for whatever you do, is to walk in as if you got the job already, because that level of confidence that will make sure that you have that confidence to to get the job. So if you walk in and get the job, you have to walk in like you feel you got the job already. And also, if you're still nervous or something, you always doing like maybe 10 jumping jacks before you actually go in or something. That could boost your energy and that can make you more confident as well.
That is the smartest answer. That's the smartest answer. Believe me, that works.
All right, guys. So you guys can take pictures with them outside if you like. And thank you for coming.
Thank you.